USA Perlazzo Memorial Award, the Dapper Dan Top Award, and to make that presentation, no better than Mike Burke.
Adler, we good? Not, we can talk about Ted some more. I could talk about him all night. But at this point, let's talk about Ty. Let's see what we want to talk about. The first time I saw Ty Johnson was in the summer of his sophomore year at Fort Hill High School, and he was working out at Greenway by himself. He was working out quietly, yet feverishly and meticulously. And really, there wasn't much to see because he was so skinny then. And on top of that, it was hard to see him anyway because he's already so fast. Little did we know he was about to get much faster. His junior football season, I saw much more of Ty Johnson. He was the area player of the year and helped Fort Hill to its first state championship in 16 years. His senior year, we saw even more of Ty. He was consensus All-State again. He was player of the year again. And he led Fort Hill to the second straight state championship and what has now become a historic run. Then we saw him receive a football scholarship to the University of Maryland. Yet there were still the so-called football pundits around here who by this time should have known better. He said he'll never play it down at Maryland. Don't bet against him, I said. Don't bet against Ty Johnson. His freshman year at College Park, Ty forced those pundits to zip it, and in turn, deny ever having shredded out. His sophomore year became just the ninth ball carrier in Maryland history to rush over 1,000 yards, set the school record for most yards per carry, and helped Maryland to a bowl game. By the end of his junior year, he returned kickoffs for touchdowns in the Big House and the Horseshoe. He was all Big Ten Conference again for the second year in a row. His senior year, he became the fourth player in Maryland football history to amass 4,000 all-purpose yards in his career and graduated in December as third all-time. Yet there were still doubters. Because the University of Maryland, my school, has done everything in its power to completely botch its football program, there was no head coach in place to promote and put out the good word to NFL coaches and scouts about this remarkable football player, Ty Johnson. He was not invited to the NFL Combine and now prepares in Florida for Maryland's own school pro day on March 27th. I wouldn't count him out. I wouldn't bet it against him. Would you? These scouts are about to see the fastest player in the upcoming NFL draft. One draft analyst has called Ty a sleeper ready to emerge. Another one recently said, "We already knew that Maryland running back Ty Johnson was one of the fastest players in this draft. What really impressed me at XPE Sports Training was his work ethic and preparation. He stays after practice, humble and very coachable. Look forward to his pro day on March 27th. Ty Johnson is active in his community. He's always here when he is asked to help, be it to cut the ribbon to the grand reopening of the South Cumberland Library, where he spent every night of his high school days studying, helping at youth football camps, advising youngsters, visiting folks he doesn't even know in the hospital and nursing homes, supporting the Sentinels from their sideline whenever he could get away from Maryland for a Fort Hill game. He helps kids, he helps senior citizens, he helps everybody he can. He stresses the importance of books and a good education. The voice of Maryland athletics, the great Johnny Holiday. I'm trying. The voice. We back? Yep. The voice of Maryland athletics, the great Johnny Holiday, in preparing to interview Ty for the first time his freshman year, asked me what I could tell about him. All I can say, Johnny, is he's too good to be true. I truly believe there is nothing Ty can't accomplish that he puts his mind to. I'll never bet against him. I'll always believe if it's something Ty Johnson believes. In 35 years on this job, I've never seen anybody quite like him. In every sense of the word, he is as American as the boy next door or Norman Rockwell. He does what he believes is right. He gives back to his community and to friends and strangers alike. He loves and believes in his mother and his family first. I believe he will play in the NFL, and we believe it too, because Ty Johnson said he would. I can't wait to see what's next for him. Whatever it is this kid from South End does next, I know I will be marveled by it, but I won't be surprised. Everybody of every color and persuasion from every corner of the area is on board as well, which around here is remarkable in itself. Ty can't be here tonight because he's concentrated on what's next in his life. We don't know exactly what that will be, but we'll be beyond proud of him, yet not surprised. Nothing Ty sets out to accomplish remains on the bucket list for long. And we are so admiring and so respectful of that, and we are so very proud of him. I know he doesn't like it when I say this, but Ty Johnson is too good to be true. Yet everything we see and know about him, his drive, his will, his character, his kindness, his accomplishment, and most of all, his example, is nothing but the absolute truth. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the George W. Stevenson Nicholas A. Palazzo Memorial Award for Ty Johnson, the recipient for a Dapper Dan record third straight time is his sister, Lakeisha Johnson.
I just wanted to say a few words, and after that, my daughter Jayla is actually going to accept the award, because if there's anybody out there that thinks the world Ty more than me, it's definitely her. You just see her room, she has like a little shrine set up with all of her Ty stuff. You know, bears that he's given her and things like that. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I know that he's my younger brother, but I really do look up to him. He has so much, I don't know how to explain it. He's just really, he puts everything that he has into whatever he's working towards. You know, I'll send him a message, you know, what are you doing? And, you know, he's usual, like, I'm working out. Like, you know, and what do I always do? Like, that's, every time I talk to him, he's always trying to work to get better. And he's always so encouraging, you know, even to me. It doesn't seem to matter what it is. He's always very encouraging. I could be like, oh, I think I might. He's like, oh, you should do it, you know. And we see that a lot with him when he's talking to young kids or whoever he's talking to. You know, I have 3 children, and I'm so thankful that they have him to look up to. Especially Jayla. I mean, even from a young child, she really does look up to him a lot, and I hope that a lot of the children in the area are able to do that. I mean, when he was little, he was kind of annoying, but as he's older, you know, we're really close, and we get along so well, and I'm thankful to have that relationship with him, and to be able to say, you know, that's my brother, and I'm so immensely proud of him, everything that he's done. And always, you know, I'm always on him. I'm like, yeah, you gotta do this and you gotta do that, and he's like, oh, I know, and I don't really have to tell him those things, but that's just me being the big sister, so. But I will let Jayla accept the award for her uncle, who, again, she thinks the world of, so here's Jayla.
Thank you, Dapper Dan, for allowing me to accept this award for Ty. He's sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but he is in Florida working hard and training for Friday. Ty was able to record and send a copy of this week that we will play for you. Again, thank you.
For putting me in the position I am today. He's definitely been blessing me for the past few years. and he's going to continue blessing me. I want to thank the Dapper Dan committee for allowing me to be the first person to receive this award 3 times in a row. It's really a great honor, and I really appreciate that you guys think so highly of me. And I just want to thank my family, my friends, and the city of Cumberland, of course, for supporting me over the past years. And it's been a long ride, but it's definitely been worth it. It's just been a really long ride. But since I'm not there, as I stated, I'm going to leave you guys with a short message, nothing too long or anything like that. But so I read this daily devotional. It's not by Tony Dungy, the book Coach Apple gives like every senior at the end of the year or anything, but it's Jesus Calling. If you ask him about it, he has the same book actually. But in this devotional, this book, I read one day, it was a few weeks ago actually a month ago, but it stuck with me. The fruit is worth the fight, and the fruit could be a job, it could be a promotion, it could be a grade you want in class, it could be a 40 time, it could be anything, a car, whatever. But what do you want to do? Like, when things get hard, are you going to be like, man, it's not worth it? But trust me, it's worth it. And the other thing in that devotional was, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat. And to me, I piece those two together because it's worth the fight to get these things you want. It could be to get married, or it could be whatever. But what are you doing? When you plant that seed, you're not going to get it right away. When you have that thought in your head, well, you want this, I want that, I want to be able to achieve this, it's not going to happen right away. But when you plant the seed, you got to do all the necessary steps for that seed to grow. And what does that seed need? It needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs the right soil, it needs all these other things. But if you do all those things, and when I talk about those things, I'm regarding as in studying an extra hour or waking up that extra early. Like, I'm not talking about 6 a.m., I'm talking about like 5 a.m. I'm talking, saving up your money so you can get that car, or you're going overtime at work. Because when you do all the necessary steps, that seed, that plant, that tree, it grows, and then eventually you're able to eat from it. You're able to harvest from what you've been putting into it. And I mean, it's crazy when you think about that. And the last, few things I wanted to leave with you guys is that, you water what you grow. And it's crazy because we're talking about fruit and seeds and all that. But if you fuel negativity, you're going to be a negative person. If you water yourself, you grow as a person. Put time into you. And sometimes, me, I like worry about others and everything, but sometimes you just gotta worry about yourself for a moment, because how can you take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself? It's just one of those things you gotta see for yourself and observe for yourself. And, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's just crazy. I mean, those last two things, water yourself and change the way you look at things, like, that's just some food for thought, and I hope y'all take that in. And the last food for thought I have for y'all is that, at the end of the day, you just gotta trust the process also, and be like water. It's crazy because when you think about soda or anything like that, I'm making a lot of analogies right now, but when you're like soda, you shake up soda, what happens? It gets bubbly, carbonation builds up in it, and then when you twist the cap off, it's sound, and then it eventually goes flat. But if you're like water, you can have a water bottle, you can shake it up as much as possible, you can throw it, you can do whatever, but those bubbles deflate, and there's no carbonation, there's nothing there, it doesn't change the consistency of the water. And I'm saying that is because a lot of times people might be dirty, you might be sick and you can't do stuff, or whatever life throws your way really. It can change how you are and how you act and how you go about things. But if you're like water, no matter what happens to you, you're going to stay the same. So, those are three main things I want you guys to remember. Change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. What you water is what you grow, and be like water. I know it's, a few analogies, but I hope you guys take that in and really think about it. And again, I'm sorry that I'm not there, but thank you, and I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks.